This is Zara Losh. Zara, you're just graduating actually from this ICY program, is that right?
That is true.
Okay, right, where should we start? Well, you better tell us your best memories. Let's start on a very positive note, shall we? What are your best memories of being part of this ICY program?
Flip, there's so many. Probably, I think the best moments have involved just being at conferences and feeling so a part of a family, so a part of like-minded people that just want to reach out and show God's love.
Okay, well tell us a bit about those conferences then. What you mentioned being part of a family. What actually happens on your average conference?
Sort of an average conference might involve going to a conference centre somewhere in the UK for us, spending 4 days together, 5 days, and just having time of fellowship, having time of prayer, worship, but also just having daily input through lectures. So if you're doing the degree course, that involves basically sitting through 4 or 5 lectures a day, and yeah, getting stuck into the Word, but also just applying it really practically to our youth ministry settings. Okay,
so that's the conferences. They happen about 6 times a year, but every week you get together in clusters. Now yours hasn't been the best of clusters. Not that it hasn't been terrible, but explain what a cluster looks like and how it works.
Like you said, I haven't really had a cluster. The average cluster, I'm guessing, sort of they meet once a week for a few hours, do some of the degree stuff, so maybe reflect on some of the more practical parts of the modules, talk through that, but also just a time where they can really pour into one another, ask for prayer, and just think about how their youth ministry can evolve more. So it's getting input from others, I guess, really.
Now, I also explained, Zara, you actually chose to be out in the middle of nowhere, didn't you? That's why your cluster's a bit more random than most, because most are in cities. You're actually stuck in the middle of the countryside in East Anglia. Tell people a bit about what your actual ministry involves.
Okay, for me, it's kind of a bit strange as well. I work for a group of Anglican churches just out in rural Cambridgeshire, but as well as that I work for a team called West Cambridge Christian Youth Ministries, who basically pull together churches to provide youth ministry in the area. So for me, I'm involved with lots of different things. I'm based in a school once a week where I help with a Christian union at lunchtimes, and I do assemblies. But I also work more on the discipleship side of things as well, so I run like a youth group for younger Christians who've grown up in the Anglican Church and really need to think about what a relationship with God looks like for them in their own lives. We also do like youth services, so on Sunday night we get all the young people together from across the area just to spend time worshipping and praying and having a bit of Bible input. So my work is really varied, and I guess that's kind of what I love about my placement. I'm working with lots of different young people across a whole different area, so it's been really cool.
Okay, so that's the youth ministry, the cluster as it's supposed to be, and the conferences as they really are. Tell us a little bit about the course though. The actual Bachelor in Theology course is the one you're doing. Nearly finished. Almost there. Okay, graduate in 3 weeks' time. Again, highlights, lowlights about that course.
I think for me, I'll start off with the lowlights so I can finish on the highlights, perhaps. The lowlights are sort of just trying to figure out how you balance sort of academic work like that within your youth ministry setting. So sort of you have to be quite self-disciplined, I think, to a certain extent if you don't have that cluster around you pushing you. Highlights, I think, far outweigh the lowlights because the course is so practical. It gets you thinking about life issues and faith issues and applying them. It gets you totally stuck into the Word of God, which is what you need. But it's not so academic that you can't engage with it. Like, it changes you as you do it because you're learning so much about yourself and about God. I would say that the lectures are really solid. The lecturers are just awesome as well. Like, teaching styles vary. and the modules really range a lot as well. So there's a lot that are Bible based, and then there's a lot that are youth ministry based, but there's also things that look at you and sort of challenge your character. So it's a very all-round course, I think.
Awesome, awesome. Now, one last question, because anyone who's got an acute sense of hearing, as folks have walked past will have gathered, we're not actually in England at the moment. We're actually beside a lake in the Alps of Austria, which is rather nice, isn't it? Tell us a little bit of what you're doing here and how all that came about.
Okay, basically we are in stunning Austria, and we've come over with a team from ICY just to help out with a festival called Kizzy Fest, which is organised and run by Kizzy Kids, which is an organisation in Austria that works with young children that have sort of grown up with Kizzy Kids, and they tour Austria and do workshops using the form of musical to reach people with Jesus' message. So it's quite cool, and we've come out here for 4 days just to help out with that festival, but we're doing the youth programme, so we're working with the 13-year-olds upwards, just doing evening sessions with them and hanging out with them, really.
Oh, that's fantastic. So it's not all being stuck out in the wilds of Cambridgeshire then?
No,
okay.
Stuck out in the wilds of Austria. It's good.
Zara, thanks ever so much. I guess if folks want to know more, we can even sort of suggest they send you an email and you can be brutally honest. But Zara, thanks so much. Thank you.
No worries.